All right, today we are taking a look at the Ruger American in the Magpul Hunter stock. This stock came out fairly recently, and I had an MDT chassis uh, set up with it before, but as soon as the Hunter came out, which is what I was waiting for, I switched over to that, and I could not be any more happy. Let's just kind of start from front to back, I guess, and we'll go along there. This is a Aero Precision or VG6 or whatever it's called. Their 6.5 Creedmoor muzzle brake. It's got top ports, side ports. Works really good. Before I had a muzzle brake on it, when it was just the threaded barrel, the rifle would jump when shooting, and I couldn't spot my own targets because I don't have a spotter person to go with me. As soon as I put the brake on, it's good to go now. I do have a suppressor on order for it, but that'll take a while, so not holding my breath. And then right here we have the Magpul M-Lock version of the bipod. So it goes right, it interfaces directly with the M-Lock slots. It's a pretty good bipod. I haven't taken it too many times out in the field yet. Seems to work pretty good. Only thing is with the M-Lock, you kind of do have to have a tool to put it on there. So it's not QD like a Harris bipod or a Atlas bipod or anything like that. So just be aware of that. This bipod will just live on this gun, so no big deal. Barrel is fully free floated all the way down. It's got a lot of space in there to not touch. Up top, we are running a Vortex Viper PST Gen 2. I've got the Vortex caps on it. They're branded caps. Work just fine. Got the sunshade on it. It is in Vortex's precision matched rings and rings here. These supposedly are machined as a pair all the way through the line, so they stay really consistent. As you can see, put a little line next to your cap when you get your eye relief set. You'll know if your rifle or if your scope is slipping in the action. If you have any issues, it's a lot easier to tell if you have a problem there. I also added Vortex's quick lever here. I can't remember what they call it, if they call it a quick throw or whatever, but it's really nice to be able to flip this back and forth between the magnification ranges. This is a first focal plane scope, so the reticle changes as you move it. Gets bigger or smaller. Like it a lot. Really easy to put on. Just clamps together and just light tension on there. Make sure you use the right tension. I used a torque wrench when I put it on, just to be safe. And then in the back, also using Vortex's cap. Now they do make little dope discs you can put in here if you want to, but I already have my dope built into my rangefinder, so it will give you a reading. I like the turrets on these, nice and clicky. This is sighted in, so we got 0 there. Nice. This has got a 0 stop, so it locks in at the point where my 100-yard 0 is. It's got the little fiber optic line here to tell you when you're back at 0. When you're off here, you won't see it from the shooter's perspective. Pretty nice. You got your illuminated reticle settings and your side focus over here. But that's about it on the scope. It's on a factory. Oh no, actually this is not a factory. This is a 20 MOA rail I got from Brownells. When I first set this rifle up, I was using a Diamondback Tactical when it was still a prototype, and I could not get to 1,000 with the turret, so I put a 20 MOA base that Brownells was gracious enough to send me, and I got out there with ease. I can pretty much get it almost with just the reticle in here. You get, I think, 12 mils, I think it is. I don't remember exactly the number, but you can almost get it in the reticle alone to 1,000 yards at my elevation, but either way. All right, the other upgrades here were Anarchy Outdoors is probably one of the few places that makes a ton of parts for these Rugers. They have a lot of different oddball. It seems like they're going after the niche guns, and this is definitely one of them. So they sell a metal bolt shroud in the back here, the bolt arm that is threaded on the end to accept any of their knobs. They have a bunch of different styles. I just chose black and black with the round ball. The ball is really hefty, super easy to throw, go back and forth, very easy to manipulate. I like it a lot. I mean, you can see how much it sticks off the side here. Pretty good. The bolt shroud is awesome, that it's metal and everything, it won't break, but I don't know how many the plastic ones actually break, but while I was there, you might as well. The only downside, it's not really a downside, I think the factory plastic piece works this way too, but it does jiggle a little bit. There's a little bit of slack on there. That's not Anarchy's fault, that's just kind of the way it is, I think, but if that kind of stuff bothers you, probably just stick with a plastic one. I haven't noticed it actually jiggling in operation, so there's that, but this stock uses the Magpul 5 or 10 round AI mags. And if you notice, see the follower color there is kind of a grayish brown color. The ones that come with the stock are this tanny brown color, more of a chocolate brown. They say that this mag feeds in the American better than these. I've not had any issue with these, but if you are having issues, you need these. They only send you one in there. I called to ask if they were going to send out followers for people that already had mags, and they said no. And they had no way to get new chocolate brown ones. So I've got 2 mags here that are kind of iffy if they don't work, but I've never had a problem with them so far. The other mag that I use is this 10 round MDT magazine. What's nice about this mag is it's not much bigger than the 5 rounds. So this is 5 rounds, this is 10 rounds, and it is not double the height. So if you can afford it, do the 10 rounders so that they hang not that far down. So you can see here, it's kind of hard to do this one-handed, but let's see. There we go. So 10 rounder locked in there, doesn't go very much past the trigger guard. And when you drop this down and put a 5 rounder in here, it hangs down about that length. So this is better from the bipod if you need some clearancing there, but for not much longer of a package, you can get a 10 rounder in there. Okay, we're back to the trigger now. The trigger is a Timney drop-in, also provided by Brownells. The factory trigger is okay. I didn't care for the stepping of the safety lever on it. This one is super short. This is, I think this is just under 2 pounds when I check it on a gauge, but it's very short. Oh, I guess I should turn off the safety to show you that. Let's see. That's it. So it's kind of hard to show you, but let's just see here. Not much at all. Super easy. It really helps with the accuracy, so you're not jiggling it while you're making those really long shots. It's pretty inexpensive. I like it a lot. I should also mention this stock was provided by Brownells as well. They were one of the few people that had them in stock at launch. So they were gracious enough to send me one. The stock is like their other hunter stocks where you take the butt pad off. You have these different plates that go in there and you can adjust your length of pull. And they have different cheek risers. I stupidly ordered a black cheek riser set when I ordered a gray stock. That's not my bad, but it kind of works. It kind of looks like the black on top of the gun and gray below. So I'm keeping it, but I put a slightly larger one there. This gets me perfect eye relief here. You can still get the bolt out without taking it off. You do have to, when you take it off, you kind of have to flip this around as you pull it out. It does come out, but it is what it is. And the length of pull is just about perfect for me. I super like this gun. It's a great budget build. It's not super budget, obviously. You got a couple $100 extra in there, but this is one of those guns that you could build in stages. So you can buy the Ruger American and start with that, and then you could get your good scope, and then once you're ready for those two things to swap out, buy the chassis or the stock, and then accessorize it from there. But if I had to do it in a certain order, I would do optics first, trigger, and then the stock, and then the bolt upgrades. The bolt upgrades really made it feel like a quality gun again. I mean, this is much easier to manipulate when you're behind the rifle. So definitely recommend it. Anarchy Outdoors, Brownells for all the Magpul stuff, Vortex optics for the Viper. Brownells also sells. Brownells actually sent me the muzzle brake, the stock, and the trigger. The Anarchy Outdoors provided the metal upgrades there for the bolt, Vortex for the scope, and I got that locally, the bipod locally. But yeah, the Ruger American in the Hunter stock is a fantastic option.